You can order the struts used in the video on the CarParts.com website via the link in the description. Turn your engine off, set the parking brake, pull on the bonnet release handle, open the bonnet. Before lifting your vehicle, it is necessary to measure the distance between the center of your wheel and the wheel arc. This will allow you to achieve an optimal tightening of the parts in their initial position. Brush the 3 screws holding the strut mount bearing and spray it with penetrating oil. From the engine compartment, use a ratchet, an extender, a gimbal, and a 15mm socket to unscrew the nuts that hold the strut mount bearings in place by a few turns. Loosen the stud bolts on the front wheels. Lift the front of your vehicle. We strongly suggest watching our video on how to jack your Ram 1500 safely before carrying out this step. Place the vehicle on the jack stands. To be able to replace the struts on your vehicle, you need to remove the wheels to gain complete access to the suspension system. Don't forget to put the wheels under the vehicle. You can now see your car's strut, as well as the outer tie rod that needs to be taken out in order to change the strut. To do so, we recommend watching the video, How to Replace the Outer Tie Rod Dodge Ram 1500. Hey, it's Alex from CarParts.com. If you enjoyed this video and want to support us, like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, back to work. If you have only lifted one side of the vehicle to carry out this operation, then you must use a jack to slightly lift the lower control arm to compensate the tension exerted by the sway bar on the end link, and in order to hold the wheel knuckle when unscrewing the upper control arm ball joint. It is also necessary to disengage the sway bar end link from the lower control arm. To do so, we recommend watching the video, How to Replace the Sway Bar End Link Dodge Ram 1500. You must then disengage the upper control arm ball joint of the wheel knuckle. Release the ball joint with a ratchet and a 21mm socket. Use a hammer to strike the knuckle. The ball joint should come out of the knuckle. Finish unscrewing the nut. Then remove the upper control arm ball joint from the wheel knuckle by lowering the jack until you can remove the ball joint. Brush off the bolt of the strut foot and spray the bolt with penetrating oil. Then, use a ratchet, a 24mm socket, and a 24mm wrench to prevent the bolt from rotating and unscrew the nut of the strut foot. Then, remove the bolt. Finish unscrewing the 3 nuts that hold the strut mount bearing in place. The strut is now free. Remove the jack to allow sufficient clearance to remove the strut. Then push on the wheel knuckle control arm assembly. Remove the strut. You can order the struts used in the video on the CarParts.com website via the link in the description. Take your new strut. Unscrew the 3 nuts holding the strut mount bearing. Insert the top part of the strut. Then the bottom part. Now you can replace the bolt of the strut foot. Then screw the nut back on by hand. Next, screw the 3 nuts that hold the mounts back on until there is contact. If you want to know which tools and parts we use in this video, just check the description and you'll find everything you need. Use the jack to lift the wheel knuckle assembly to allow you to replace the upper control arm ball joint and the lower ball joint of the sway bar end link in their respective positions. Screw the nut of the upper control arm ball joint back on. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Screw the nut on the lower ball joint of the sway bar end link back on. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. To avoid damaging the silent blocks, tighten the strut foot bolts in the vehicle on the ground position. Lift the wheel knuckle with the jack until the original measurement between the center of the wheel and the wheel arc is reached. Once at a distance, finish tightening the lower bolt with a torque wrench. Tighten the 3 nuts with a torque wrench. Remove the jack. Apply silicone grease to the flat part that will be in contact with the sleeve of the outer tie rod. Do not grease the inside of the cone. Put the outer tie rod back in place in the knuckle. Remount the castle nut and tighten it using a ratchet and a 21mm socket. Finish tightening using a torque wrench. Take the key and fit it into the castle nut. Use a screwdriver to bend the key. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put your vehicle back on the ground before properly fixing the wheels in place. During this operation, you will be intervening on the front axle of your car, so it is advisable to perform a wheel alignment afterwards. Operation complete.